And who better to talk us around a lap of Donington than a man who knows it probably better than anybody else, Leon Haslam. Turn 1, Redgate. Lots of different lines around there, lots going on, particularly first lap.
The first whole part of the lap for me is all about keeping your speed up, your corner speed. Everything happens maybe 300-400 yards further than you want it to, and everything links one to the next.
Yep.
You run out of Redgate, gets you through Hollywood, and Hollywood gets you through Craners, and they're the key points of the track, basically just try and keep your high speed up.
Yeah, so all this first part from Redgate down to the old hairpin, it's really fast, really flowing. The track's dropping away from you a lot more than you think.
Yeah, definitely, and especially the throwback on Craner curves, there's always a lot of crashes there. It's really high speed, it's one of the fastest points on the track, and you're changing direction all off camber. So as a crashing point, that's one key point they've really got to respect. But on the other side of it, it actually links it up to the old hairpin, which if you run too wide on the left, it really messes your entrance up into the old hairpin.
Good overtaking point there, it's downhill, there's a lot going on, you're trying to stop the bike, get it back to the left to get a good entry into the old hairpin. Is it possible to pass?
Definitely, it's one of my favourite passing places. It's if you get the Craner curves right, you can near enough get alongside them before you hit the brakes. And it's actually where I passed Tom Sykes this year in the BSB. It's a tough passing place, as you say, because it's all off camber. But if you can get it stopped and in, it ruins their drive on the way out.
Then Starkey's Bridge and Schwant section. Again, after the old hairpin, it goes into a really big, fast-flowing section like Craner curves, really quick.
Yeah, it is, and it's one of them places that's really difficult. You come out the old hairpin generally in second gear, and you throw third and fourth gear before the first left, because you don't want a real revy torquey gear. You want a gear that's just going to take you all the way around the two. And it's a real key point of the track for a lap time. Not necessarily you can overtake there, but it's a place where you can lose a lot of time. McLean's for me is not one of my favourite overtaking places, because you've got 3 big bumps right on the way into that corner.
Yeah.
And it's one of them places, if you hit them bumps, it's so easily just to tuck the front, especially in the rain as well. So there is a possibility of passing there, but it's normally a hard move if you're going to do it.
And always in the wet, I found that coming out of McLean's was really, really slippy. Even if you kept away from the curves, kept away from the pain, you could still lose the back end dead easy there. Quick squirt then up towards Coppice, blind entry into Coppice. You're kind of going up a brow, and then you've got to turn just as you see where you're going. Yeah,
it is. You can't actually see up and over the hill there, so it's a lot of it's just really knowing the track. And the biggest thing you've got to watch out for there is the crest into Coppice. Everybody tucks the front. It's one of them things that you just kind of got to respect, get into, but it's another place where I feel that you can gain a lot of time knowing where the crest is and just purely respecting that, the rise up into it.
And for me, possibly the best overtaking point on the whole track is if you can kind of set it up at Coppice, coming out of Coppice, get a good drive out of there, level with somebody down the back straight, the Dunlop straight, and into Foggy's S's. If you can kind of level with them on the straight and then do the rest of it on the brakes.
Yeah, for me, this is my favourite overtaking place. It's all about straight line, heavy stopping, braking, and all you've really got to do is make sure you get into that first apex. I remember back to last year, I had a really good race with Johnny Ray. I passed him into Foggy's Esters. Yeah. He come back at me going down into Melbourne, got it completely sideways the wrong way, let off the brakes and it hit my front wheel. It just wasn't going to stop. And it's a perfect scenario of Donington. It's such a stop-start track, the last 3 corners. It kind of pulls you into it, especially if you've been holding up the corner before. It kind of drags you into them circumstances, and for the last 3 corners it always makes good racing because you know someone's going to have a go.
Last corner of the track, Goddard's. For me, always a tricky corner. There's a lot going on. There's kind of tarmac patches where the old track meets where the new track comes in, and sort of different angles and overbanding. It's always an awkward one, that.
It's by far my worst corner. It's a horrible. It's all off camber. Like I say, there's different patches there. You can't see your braking point because it all drops away. It's a tough corner, and it makes good for the last lap because you know that it's dead easy for someone to go up the inside, and if they can pull it down, they kind of beat you. And yeah, definitely a hard corner to get on with, but like I say, it's one that you've really got to respect in the rain as well. I watched the MotoGP here a few years ago, and everyone was going down, so it's going to make good racing, wet or dry, especially on them last 3 corners.